friends, welcome back to Faith and Era Homestead. My name is Jaylee and today I'm gonna try to make a really quick video for you. I really enjoy long form content, but when I come to you with just one quick recipe, I wanna try to bang the video out quickly. So let's give this a shot. We are gonna make homemade cheeseburger hamburger helper. It is a staple in the rotation here for dinner. It's so easy to make, and the way that we're going to make it actually creates a very nutritious, nutritionally rich dinner, and it's an excellent one to throw in your rotation. So for starters, here I have 1 clove of garlic minced. I have half an onion diced, and I'm adding 2 peppers from my garden. That's not typical in hamburger helper, but it's a way to get an extra veg in there. I have peppers in the summer garden right now, and it will just add some flavor and some nutrition. So it'll alter that quintessential hamburger helper flavor a little bit, but I'm happy with it. So do your own add-ins, pepper, mushrooms, whatever you want. And we're gonna get this over on the stove with a little bit of butter and some salt and pepper sauteing. We are also going to use chicken broth for this recipe. Here I have some chicken broth that I made a couple weeks ago and had in the freezer. It's de-thawed now. I'm not exactly sure. I always just use 2 of these, 2 pint-sized jars. What is that, like 4 cups? I'm gonna go with 4 cups of chicken broth. Now that the meat is nearly done, just a little bit of pink, I'm gonna go ahead and add a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. And actually, as you can see here, I ran out of Worcestershire sauce, so I have a little less than a tablespoon, but that's okay, no big deal. We're also gonna go ahead and add our chicken broth. I have about 4 cups of chicken broth, and as you can see, mine is still a little frozen. It came out of the freezer earlier today, but that's okay. Obviously, that brought down the temperature of my everything in my pan, so I'm gonna let that come back up to temperature before we add in our next ingredient. Now that we are back up to temperature, I'm gonna go ahead and add in my box of pasta. I'm using elbow noodles in true cheeseburger hamburger helper fashion, but use whatever pasta you want or have on hand. We're going to let that simmer for 10 to 15 minutes until the pasta is cooked al dente. You want it to still be a little chewy. You don't want the pasta to be cooked all the way through at this point. I always cook this in my cast iron skillet, and I don't know why I do it to myself. I should just do it in my Dutch oven. I don't. It's possible. It can be done in the cast iron skillet. I know because I have done it many times. But it like really pushes the limits of my cast iron skillet, and I should just do it in my Dutch oven. I don't know why I make things harder than they have to be. For the sake of this video and my sanity, I just went ahead and transferred it to my cast iron Dutch oven. It is... I don't know why I do that. Does anybody else do that? Cook things in pans or skillets that are obviously too small for the job, and then it's like spilling over and you're making a mess. You're like, why did I do this to myself? I do that all the time. I do it when I make my sloppy joe too. So anyway, it's in the cast iron Dutch oven now for the remainder of this video. At this point, we're gonna go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, and now we're going to add 1 cup of milk. Recipes like these are also excellent opportunities to use up any like spare cheese you have kicking around your fridge. I also do this when I make macaroni and cheese. Here I've got a couple slices of Steakhouse onion cheddar cheese. I bought this when we did sandwiches in Philly, and it needs to be used up. We're done now. It's over a week old. And so I've got a slice and a half that I'm gonna go ahead and add in there. And if you have any like bags of cheese that are on their last legs that you need to use up, miscellaneous, pour it into your cheeseburger hamburger helper, or if you're making macaroni and cheese, use it in that, or if you're making grilled cheeses, sprinkle it on that. I love finding ways to use up little bits of stuff that's in the fridge so that it doesn't just get thrown in the garbage. I already know that this is delicious, but let's try it together. Look at that. Yum, yum, yum. It's amazing to me how much it actually tastes like hamburger helper. The only thing that's different about it is I feel like hamburger helper has this like unique thickness to it that like coats the inside of your mouth. And that's actually probably due to some ingredient that's really bad for you. This does not do that. This isn't so thick and like gummy that it like sticks to the inside of your mouth, but the flavor is so spot on. And it's not thin. It's still got a nice creaminess to it. Even more so, the higher the fat content of the milk you use, the better, the thicker and creamier it's going to be. I used full fat raw milk. If you're the type to get whole milk from the store, it'll have a similar effect. There is one more thing that I want to mention to you. I was thinking about it while I was stirring in the cheese. I use chicken broth in the kitchen the majority of the time because I make a lot of chicken broth. I cook a chicken and make broth every Sunday, and so I always have chicken broth. And I don't usually have other types of broth just hanging out. So if you are buying these ingredients from the store, or if you have more than just chicken broth stocked in your pantry, I actually recommend using beef broth for this recipe. And the recipe up on my website says beef broth. But with me having chicken broth available, it still tastes so much like the real thing, and it's still absolutely delicious. But I will say that using beef broth will get you even closer to that real cheeseburger, hamburger helper flavor. And you saw me use chicken broth, and I said chicken broth in this video, but on my website you'll see beef broth, and I recommend using beef broth if you have it available. All right, you guys, there you have it. I tried to make this quick. Let's see after I'm done editing. Let's see if I can get it under 10 minutes. That's my goal. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I hope you give this a try. Add it into your dinner rotation if you like it. It's easy, it's nutritious, and it's so delicious. I can't wait to see you in my next one. Have faith and keep moving forward. Bye.